My name is Danezion Mills. I'm an actor. I write sometimes. I'm actually working on an audio drama podcast right now, which is pretty challenging, but it's also really cool to be able to dive into like a different medium that I'm not used to. But listening to them over time has given me a lot of insight on how to curate and create audio that's enticing enough to people that makes it.
Oh.
That is hilarious.
That's so funny.
Let's
That's
run
gonna
that
be an
back.
insert on.
What's that sound?
I was wondering what that was. That was okay. Sorry.
No, it's really cool. I've been studying it for like 4 years, trying to understand like how to make it a medium enticing with just sound and story. So I'm really curious to play around with that a little bit more.
That's what we're doing now too. Essentially,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
sound and storytelling, which is cool. Yeah, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. My name is Alex Williams. I'm a writer, director. I made a feature called The Quarantine Christmas. Did a couple shorts.
I played in it.
Yeah, you did. We'll show you that.
We definitely will not. You can go pay for it and watch it, but we won't be showing you.
Just a little snippet. Yeah, a little snippet.
I've moved into kind of different mediums like prose and have written my first novel that I hope to get published soon. And I think our focus right now is looking at indie films because we're all independent, and I think that there's something to be said about the art and art for art's sake and doing it for the right reasons, which a lot of people are, and telling stories that are meaningful to them. And I think that resonates with me. I don't want to speak for everyone here, but I'm pretty sure with all of us. I'm excited to go on this journey of watching film actively and because I think this is a cool medium for it.
I agree. Hey guys, my name is Vincent. Look, you gotta give us some grace. This is our first time doing a sort of podcasty kind of situation, and but it's gonna be chill. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm also an independent filmmaker like these guys are. I write, I direct, I sometimes produce if I can't get away from it, and I also teach. I'm an adjunct professor at USC Film School, where I teach directing TV and new media. I'm gonna get a little academic with things, but that's how I love to dive into cinema, and I think this is gonna be a fun experiment to kind of dive into. I also just love talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where it goes, and you can find me at vincent.j.walker. My IG. Yeah, you guys missed that.
part.
You guys missed that. You gotta drop the.
You can find me at Danezion, Danezion, because you ain't gonna be able to spell it without MILLS 52.
Why'd you say that so sexy? Like pillow talk with Oh my god.
You can find me at my number is hit my line. Alexander Ray Williams. That's just my whole name. Got the website. That's all my everything. So yeah, that's where you'll find me.
Yeah. And what's also cool about this, we all have such different perspectives, I think, when we look at media, when we look at film. Me personally, I'm going to be looking at a lot of the acting. That's going to be something that I'll probably comment the most on and sort of give my thoughts and opinions on. And also just like being able to highlight good moments, like things that people miss when actors are really preparing. Because there's so much that goes into it. Like when you're breaking down a script and you're doing the objectives and you're doing operative words and you're doing like the conflicts and all this stuff, like cause and effect. There's a lot that goes into that. Think people miss. They just go for the face value of acting. But there's so many obstacles. In the obstacles, that's what I was looking for. But there's so much that goes into the work of an actor trying to portray or using a blueprint, as one of my professors said, to create a character. So I always think that's so interesting and such a beautiful thing to be able to step into someone else's given circumstances and bring your own. So I'm very curious as we go through these short films to see what actors or what moments that I can highlight that I see someone doing on that. So,
Yeah, I'm really interested to see like what you see versus like what Alex and I see. Alex has done some acting though in the past, so he's a little bit more experienced than I. But I love actors.
oh yeah, appreciate it.
So I have a soft spot in my heart for them. So I'm excited to see what you say about it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I just love these guys. So I'm glad
Yeah, we love you too.
doing this with them is special.
Yeah.
And with that, maybe we should get started with our first film. It's called The Strange Thing About the Johnsons.
Should we start it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, geez, here we go.
What you were just doing, which I had no right to interrupt without knocking, and I'm sorry. But what you were doing was completely natural.
Yeah, that's
and normal and to be expected. And I just wanted to come in, not to make it weird, but just to make sure that you weren't feeling strange. There's nothing to feel strange about. Something that everybody does.
I want to clarify Danezion.
And everyone's entitled to do
I
it.
haven't seen this.
I haven't either.
Well, everybody does.
So you do it then?
I mean, it's common. Yeah. It's something that's natural to do for all people. And all people deserve to have their boundaries respected. And that's where I crossed the line. So I'm sorry if this is weird. But I just wanted to make sure you weren't feeling ugly and like this was ugly. And hide it under the rug and let it become something taboo between us.
That's kind of dope.
You know what taboo is?
Yes.
And now it won't be. Because we talked about it. And it's out in the open.
Okay.
I am sorry if this is weird.
It's not.
Oh, good. Shouldn't be.
No, don't touch his face. Come on, bro.
Well, I'll leave you to it then.
I'll leave you to it. Finish up in here.
Jay. I love you.
I love you back.
All right, what's about to happen?
I have no idea.
I have what is happening?
This is insane.
Oh no, I knew it! Oh my god, no. Oh my god.
And if we could try Mom's hands on the big man's shoulder. Oh, that's just lovely.
What?
Both of their minds just got
Wonderful. And so
Guys,
happy
it gets
to
worse.
my
It
God.
gets so much worse.
What? Oh,
How about a smile from Dad this time?
What?
Was I not smiling?
Had to turn his head back.
Sorry, I thought I was.
Then let's just have another big one, please. There we go. Love
Oh my god. Wicked. Oh my god. Like, you're not gonna stop it?
You killed your own father. How could you? What? Wait, get off of me!
I'm warning you, Mom.
You don't warn me.
Twice. Oh, hell
Better
no.
than you ever did.
Yo.
You sick.
I told you somebody getting stabbed. Oh my God. No, don't stop. What? You better grab one of the things and smack him in the face with it. Twice. Don't hit him. Don't stop. Don't stop. Stop. 3 times. 4 times. 5 times. 6 times.
This is what moms mean when you stab, bro.
I will take you out.
Take you out.
That's not exactly this.
No, this is exactly right.
That's exactly what they do with their fire sticks.
That was it.
That was wicked. I was not expecting that. I expected none of that. Not a single bit of it, except the stabbing.
Except you
I knew
expected
somebody
that.
was gonna get stabbed.
You expected that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. It's a
Yeah,
tough
it's-
film, and it's a tough subject. If you, I mean, we all experienced it, and you know, you were watching us experiencing it for the 1st time, and
That was fun.
yeah, and just like the horror, the terror, the feelings, the
You
emotions.
guys went through it all.
Yeah.
At the beginning, you are like, no, don't touch his face. And then by the end, literally, both of your mouths were wide open.
Yeah.
Especially during the tub scene. Both
Yeah.
of you were just like,
I could never watch that again.
what?
No,
Exactly.
Never.
So
Now you see where I-
is this a recommend to watch then?
Once.
Yeah,
Only
so
once.
I told him.
Wait, before
Yeah.
we get to that, because like I feel like so what's cool about this is that we were able to discuss this about family, and like it doesn't come up because like we all grew up with mostly black families.
Yeah.
But like this was a black family.
Yeah.
What do we think about that? And then on top of that, it was made by a white guy.
Interesting. Oh, I don't want to go there.
We have to go there. We
Oh, I don't wanna
cannot
go
address
there.
that. We cannot address
I don't
that.
want to go there.
We
Because
have
that
to.
actually, that kind of changes my
That's what I'm
whole
saying.
perspective on, not even change. I'm not, you know what? That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair.
I love
That's
this.
not fair.
Okay.
But I will say, oh man, I feel like this. Oh, I don't want to say it.
Danezion, talk.
I feel like that's like and it makes sense now the way that they carry themselves. You can't as a white person and take a black traumatic event like story. I don't think you can accurately do it because of like Denzel was saying, the cultural differences.
No,
I'm
I think you need heavy research, and like you need to intertwine yourself in that culture. But
and
I think it can be done.
And you
I
need
just
someone
think
black who know. You need
you need
someone.
some guidance for sure. Yeah.
But I think this is hard because then you go like, oh, like if Tyler Perry did this, you know, and then you're like, well, it would be a totally different thing, and you know, from purely from the perspective, because we're all creators.
Yeah.
We understand that like perspective is probably the most important part of telling a story.
Yeah.
And so you look at it and you go, well, should I use white bodies? Well, maybe. Well, I don't think it would have the same impact.
It wouldn't. But
so if you use black bodies, which we as a society
that's
do,
so unfair. Oh my god,
it's unfair, but it is the way in which you could tell a story like this, I think, and be very effective if you're talking about like objectification and being able to put people into these situations.
This is hilarious. Sorry.
I've been here. Like I've been. It's unfair because
Yes.
we are it's like we're constantly being used.
We were just used.
We were
Now do you see what I
used.
mean when I say that this was Ari saying, I want to make something that everyone's gonna fucking watch and see and talk about. This is what that is. Like this is not some like, oh, there's some deep like blah blah blah. Like no, the motherfucker just wanted the shock value.
So then that pisses me off. Because then it's like, okay, so
but
there's no
Yeah.
point. There's no point to me. And it's like now I have
I think you get your own. It's art
Yeah,
still.
yeah,
Like it's
I'm not taking away.
You get your
also,
own
also
point.
just to say, like it was very creative. Like it was a great movie. I just wish it wasn't
I love
black
this.
people being used. To do it.
I think that the big part of all of this is the art is manipulation of your audience. And so you have to
Yes.
manipulate your audience to feel what
I
you want to
agree.
feel, see what you want to see, and experience what you want to experience.
Yeah.
And so in that, very successful. And I don't know
Yeah.
if
I
in terms
agree.
of respecting and trying to understand at least what his like, I mean, he just simply saw characters on a page likely, rather than all the things that we might want to dig into it.
No, I agree with you. I don't think that there was any sort of like, let me show what a black family would do in this situation. Because if that was the case, this movie would have been a lot. It would have ended from like the mom would have like ended this a long time ago. But like,
She would have the house on fire.
Actually, that's
like culturally, that kind of. But then, okay. To be fair, like I have known families, and I'm not just saying that like it literally is not my family, but I swear I have known families like in the neighborhood where the mother is to like stay with a man
all the time.
She like turns a blind eye,
Yep.
even though the man is like doing something to her children. That's not like the man is not related to the kids.
Yeah.
He's like a
The
stepdad
stepfather.
kind of
It
stuff.
more
happens all
universal.
the time.
It's
It happens
universal.
all the time.
I think that's
Yeah.
the hard part. Is like it's a universal. It's kind of
Right.
a universal concept.
Right.
But I guess the thing, the putting the eyeball on that aspect of like that dynamic of white writer director, and then of course you can start to like I think pull apart and pick apart whether or not it was right when. I don't think that has anything to do with art in the first place.
Yeah, I think let me not get into my my own.
No, but
Sure,
I
so
think
you
it's
have to.
interesting.
You have
No,
to.
I think I think
But
it's
it is.
interesting.
It
Because
is.
I agree. The first time I saw it, all I could think about was the fact that we were being used. Because like, what? Think about it. As a director, we all as a filmmaker. Okay, you make a choice. Everything is a choice.
Everything is.
So like when he made that conscious decision to make this a black family, the question becomes, from my perspective at least, maybe it doesn't have to be from the general audience, but from my perspective, I'm literally wondering, why did he make that decision?
Yes.
And once you go into that, then it's like
It's
a whole thing opens up.
Yeah.
You know?
Because it's like so you go to like you think about stuff like people like Quentin Tarantino, right? And it's like he made Django.
Yeah.
I guarantee you he did everything possible to do that correctly, and also use the right people and created this story after already being established as someone who makes this kind of content. Like that to me is different than like that to me is like, okay, you earned it. You know what I mean? Like you earned it because you've also been working with the most of the same people, especially Samuel, since like day one.
Sure.
So it's like, okay, you earned it. Like that's fine. I'm chill with that. And also the subject matter. That was like a redemption. Like the ending, we wanted to see him get his lig back, and it was a lig back for us.
Absolutely.
But this is like it's like okay, so then what? So how are you uplifting black people?
Well,
with
okay.
this?
So before we move on from Django, I do love Django Unchained. I do. It's a great movie, and for the same reasons that I think we all probably enjoyed it. But I will say, I don't want to give Quentin a hard pass here. I don't want to give him a pass here, okay? Because like, here's my thing about him. Culturally, there is a reason I agree with you. If you just from his memoir, like I read his book, and just from his talks, like he does talk about how like he will how he grew up in the cinema in black cinemas. Like he grew up going to black cinemas in downtown LA when they existed, and he watched a lot of films for the first time with a lot of black audiences, and that's how he gained his. This is him saying that's how he sort of gained his respect for cinema and like what made people react, how they reacted. And this is the same reason why I love going to black cinemas, why I love going to Baldwin Hills. You should all go there if you're around LA. Because you get to watch it with the people. You get to actually like see how people react all the time. And that's sort of how he says that he came up. And then when you add that to the context of like him as a filmmaker, I think it gives Django it gives all his films some sort of like, okay, I see where you're coming from, but I still don't think he should get the pass that he does, because the man is a menace. Like he sort of just like takes that and then runs. It's like Quentin, hang on.
But it's with a purpose.
How many movies can I throw this word into? How many times?
But it's with a purpose though. Because we've all seen the slave movies, right? Like we've seen 7 Years a Slave and all of that. 100%. And it's like to see us get our leg back.
He gave us what we wanted.
Yeah, like it was like we want to see.
I'll never forget seeing that motherfucker reel back his hand and then just go, watch out!
Man, I was like, yeah,
we were all like that. It was iconic. You know.
It was great.
It's an image we needed.
Yeah.
We needed that image.
Because also, and what he did with Samuel's character too, with that is like he did the house slave. Like it was like, oh, okay, like all right, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
You really pulling it in. The black hate like that Samuel had for Jamie Foxx's character, like that's real. Like it's like those are real things that you look at and you say, okay, culturally. Again, like that's how we fit. Like that's real. And even in our time now, that when we, which I pray that we can get away from, but we still look at each other like that sometimes. And it's like that's highlighting something that's important that we need to understand that it's our history, and also that
Negroes.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think this speaks to kind of like the perspective thing, because as writers, when we decide on a perspective, the first thing we do, I mean, we of course try to like get a grasp of like what this universe is going to be, but we do the research.
Right.
And so your problem with the lead actor might actually be because he's the eyes to which we're kind of like seeing most of this play out. He is the driver of most everything in this thing. Maybe it was simply a lack of actual research and perspective into that character to give him the direction to satisfy you in this story.
Which is what I'm saying, which is why I felt like I didn't believe it. Like it didn't feel authentic, because even with subject matter like this, and as a black person, like the dad, like I was like, oh, we get it. Oh, like also like, you all right, dog? Like, what did you experience in your life that made you really connected to this? Like, yo, can we check on buddy? Like, is he good? But the son, it was like, man, like you're lacking the cultural knowledge of how to portray or even to react to your dad in this subject matter. And then, okay, so you look at that, he had the most lines. So then you go with the writer, and then you go with the director. You're like, okay, so I always like to say, I say this with the Cowboys, it's a management problem. So you go to the top and you're like, yo, okay, so you lack the cultural knowledge of this race. So in writing it, you kind of miss some marks when you're creating a monologue, because we don't connect to that type of dialogue.
Because there was also the conversation of, is this a horror? Is this a thriller? If this is a horror, then this kid is a monster, is a demon, is a creature. And so
that's what I thought he was doing.
So maybe in that kind of like situation, maybe that's also like the disconnect is it's also, this is a monster in a house. We see his shadow before we see him. We hear his footsteps before we hear him. We hear the door jiggling before, So I think that becomes part of the equation too here, is we know Ari is a horror filmmaker, but it's interesting because he chose a black family for this. He chose an autistic individual for Hereditary, right? So it's also like an interest in maybe
Interest, or I call it the Sean Baker effect, bro. Y'all know Sean Baker,
Mm-mm.
the Nora guy? Honora?
Mm-mm. He said, "Why? Why are we even?"
You're supposed to just
All credibility just.
I'm fucking with y'all. Yeah, but the idea, well, don't worry, we'll cut that out. But anyway, the point is, okay. I think it's more just like let's find just like the most crippled form of human being we can to tell an interesting story. That's what I think these people are doing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think finding interesting stories and interesting people, I don't think there's anything wrong with that inherently. You know, we are artists. I think we're always, and I'm talking about all of us, even him and everybody, I'm saying we're all going to find that certain subjects interesting. I think we just have to sort of be real with ourselves and say that, yes, we are exploiting things and people and ideas. Yeah. I think we are. But exploitation
is exploitation.
Sure. Man. Well, I think it was in its totality. I think it was great.
Yeah, it was.
With the other information.
It's hard because it's like done right. Should that even like, where does that fit in the role of storytelling, particularly in the medium of cinema, in which we can go into non-linear narratives, we can go into like abstractions, we can go into, is there such thing as done right when what you're trying to do is portray a vision?
I don't think there is a done right. I don't think so. I think you have structures, but like I was saying about the acting, it's blueprints. Like everything is a blueprint, and the reason, if it was done right, if it was all done right, then we wouldn't have good film. Like I think the creativity is in the mistakes, is in the struggle. What's that?
I agree.
Yeah, like I think there's. I disagree. I don't think there's a right way to do it. I don't want there to be a right way to do it, because then that makes it that condenses it to a specific box that no one is allowed to step out of. The reason why we watch movies, and I pray that we can keep getting ones that aren't the same remakes from the 90s or early 2000s, but it's like the reason we do it is because it's like we get to see something different. We get to see something that we've never seen before. We get to hear something we've never heard before. We get to see acting or reactions the way we never had before. And if it was done right, then it would be like, oh, we've seen that. Why are we watching this again?
Whether you do it right or you don't do it right, do it well. I think is kind of, and I think he did it well.
Yeah, he did it well. Did he do it right? He did it well.
You say this was a student film, and so I think that's kind of tough, because I know that for me, like when, you know, even probably still, but I guess I kind of have more of a social awareness now, and it's a great deal of responsibility that I didn't necessarily feel when I was younger and trying to put things together. And there were things, I mean, even the depiction of rape is something that I'm that's very, very hard for me to kind of engage with in my work now. Whereas before I was like, oh, it's salacious. And it's like, you know, and these things happen, and they do happen, but we're trying to scrub away a lot of this unclean, like nasty, dirty stuff, and get these polished pieces. And it's just really hard to watch, and in a different way than this was hard to watch, because at least watching this, it felt real, and it felt powerful, and it felt compelling and terrifying, and I mean all of those words.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be straight up. When I first watched this, I was mad jelly. I was very jealous, because you got to think about when this came out. This came out at a time where black. This came out before Django Unchained, so
Mhm.
I think I'm correct on that.
Interesting, yeah.
But if I am correct on that,
You are, because
it's
what, Django, this was 2011. Django came out, I think it was like a sophomore or junior in college.
yeah.
So,
So like
Yeah.
like when it comes to films with black characters, like this was honestly beyond its time. Like
Yeah, that's true.
we don't get a lot of variety, I think, and this was variety. This was 100% variety. I've never seen anything like this before, and I honestly haven't seen anything like it after. When it comes to black
I hope I've never seen
stories.
Sorry.
No, you're good. But yeah, I mean, I feel like what it did was it sort of like, the reason why I say jelly was because like I feel like we like whenever we pitch something as black creators, like it's never it.
Yeah.
People don't. I remember back before the riot and stuff, like talking about our stories, unless it's like the typical, people will be like, no, I don't, we can't put money behind this, we can't like help you out with this, blah blah.
Yeah.
But like, this kid,
It's the same with the NWA movie.
Quality too. Like, yeah. Oh, sorry.
The NWA movie, yeah.
Mhm.
It reminds you of that, like, uplifted, upheld, and built by white writers.
Yeah.
But
Which is,
I mean, it's cool to see kind of the influx, and you're right, like the variety thing is really difficult. I remember hearing about it, and it was like we can have 5 white writers in a room, and we can understand kind of the individuality of perspective with these, but then you add one black person, and they're supposed to represent the full black experience.
that's crazy.
yeah,
It is crazy. Like that, how getting into the room is so difficult, and also the people taking on black projects is so difficult. Like, why is Ryan Coogler the only main black director that we are talking about when there's not, and he's incredible, but why is
Peele.
Spike Lee.
Jordan Peele, right? But okay, so we got Jordan Lee, or Jordan Peele, Jordan Lee.
Jordan Lee.
Well, let's be real though.
And
Right
Ryan
now,
Coogler.
it's just Ryan and Jordan. Though.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, those are our modern.
Yeah, but it's like we have those, but it's like you of course have to have your anomalies, right? You have to have your special. Even with white directors, it's the same. But there's so many more of them than there are of us. When I know there's like y'all, for instance, or other genius black directors who literally have piles and piles of work just waiting for somebody to say yes. And it's almost probably not going to happen because there's only a small space for us. And it sucks. It's same with acting. I mean, acting is the same way. Like, you get a Jonathan Majors and a Michael B. Jordan, but that's it. Like, everybody else is British.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, I have a question for y'all then.
Well, to be fair,
Okay.
if I was given the green light on a project, I wouldn't have done that. Like, so there's also something to be said about
Right. It's like, but also that,
Yeah,
like,
that's great.
he did that, and it's like, it's great quality, all of that. It's just like,
Yeah, that's why
this
I
is
was
what I'm going to
jealous.
do with
It was fantastic.
this is what I'm going to do with my
Absolutely.
resources. I'm just going to do
Absolutely.
this.
It was
Versus like,
inspiring. I should stop saying, well, I was jealous, but it was also just inspiring.
Yeah.
But let me ask y'all this though. If he had chosen to use white family, do you think it would be as big as it is now? Because practically everyone knows about this short film.
I don't think so.
It sounds weird. It would just feel normal. Not in a back. Like, oh, it's so awesome. I shouldn't have said it. I don't know. Like this. Like I can't go there. I'm not gonna go there. I won't go there.
No, I think I don't want to translate what you just
No, please.
I think what you're trying to say is the impact would have been kind of less.
Yeah.
It would have just been a smaller impact.
Yeah.
And I think the reason this does stand out, it is kind of a black family, and they seem to be well off. They all seem to be successful. They have great friends. It seems they live in a nice neighborhood.
Mhm.
Like it's really cool to kind of see that, but then also
yeah.
to see the terror lurking behind that door.
Yeah.
I mean, and to see that in kind of with a white family, I think when you say normal, maybe things like this have been depicted before.
That's
Yes.
exactly what I mean.
Yes.
It's like we've
seen it before.
We've seen it before. It's not. It's like, oh yeah,
It's
that's
to
that's
be
no-
expected.
right. But when
this
you
was
with a
unexpected.
black family, it's like
Completely
I didn't
unexpected.
expect that.
Completely.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Interesting. That's why he did it then. Because
Yeah.
because even at the beginning, and you guys are proof of that as you were watching it, never in a million years, just based off of all of the black family cinema like type of stories we've seen prior to this.
Mm-hmm.
You would never, I would never, like when I first watched it, I would never have been like, oh, this is going this way. I was
never.
just as shocked as you guys were.
Never.
Because it's a black family. But
Yeah,
like
because
if
it's a
it
black
was a
family.
white family, you'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like, oh man. Because like, and I appreciate
We've
y'all.
seen weird
y'all,
shit
Y'all, I
with white
appreciate
families
y'all
before.
because you kind of put into context what I was trying to say. Because really, it's like it's not shocking because we see stories like that. We have over time.
Yeah.
Brokeback Mountain, like it's not the same ideal, but it's like
This is
know,
not
it's
Brokeback
not. It's not. But I'm
Brokeback
just
Mountain
saying,
is a beautiful film
it
about
is,
love
it
and
is.
passion.
Absolutely.
This was Rick.
This
was nice. I like that.
You're right, but it's like we've seen those type of stories, but when it's especially like watching the dad, like his innocence, like watching,
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah, he
that's-
was innocent. He was
like,
just
what?
as childlike innocence
Yeah.
at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
He was
he
like,
was,
yeah,
he
kid,
was.
like this is.
You're doing great.
yeah, like and oh man. I think overall it was great because it did exactly what it was supposed to do, and it shocked me, it confused me,
Mhm.
it hurt me,
Mhm.
it made me like angry, it made me want to fight, it pulled out all the emotions, all of them.
I think with this too, though, this is a student film, and I think it didn't have to be 30 minutes under that kind of like, microscope
Mhm.
in that kind of like framework, but he really invested in that, a 30-minute piece. I mean, a lot of people would just leave it at the shock value of something earlier on. And he just kept exploring and pressing and
He used
exploring.
time really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that's
Progression
like a
time,
huge
yeah.
testament to that, because I think that sometimes we don't, as filmmakers, when we're thinking short, we don't give ourselves permission to really
Impressive.
flesh that thing out. And
Yeah.
so I guess my takeaway,
Because it's a risk. Like when he did
It
that
is.
14 years later thing, like that's a huge risk.
That's a huge risk.
But he did it and it worked.
But yeah, because it was very specific.
Yeah.
The beginning was very specific.
Yes.
And so after that, it's like, oh yeah, time can pass. But if it was any other thing, like for me, and it's a jump like that, it's like, oh no, we got to run it back. Like, how did we?
Like we're missing.
Yeah, like we're missing
Yeah.
a lot. Like what
Yeah.
went on between that time?
Literally.
But the way he showed the way the dad acted, that trauma and that age, you
And we push
immediately
in on
know.
the wedding photo
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
You immediately know, and you're like, oh shit.
Mm.
And it was good. He's a great, like the writing, great.
I think
Directing,
that
great.
if
The
I were
acting
to,
on the son part,
I
right.
think with that too, like I guess my encouragement would be for filmmakers or whatever, and for myself, it's like it's okay. Give yourself permission to like let a thing breathe.
Yes. Yes.
Because I think the tendency is like, okay, like 7 minutes is probably the max, and so like what can I fit into 7 minutes? And so then shock value,
Right.
and maybe because of that, the bathtub scene unearned happens a lot earlier in a piece like this with somebody who doesn't understand maybe like how something can be paced. So I think it's also a testament to that. in terms of structure, storytelling, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because like screw the start. Like when people are like, "Oh, it should be this many pages and it should be this many minutes and all this." It's like, no, it's yours. It's yours. You do what you want with it, and if you make it well enough, and if you don't rush it, it's gonna be good. If you're a good artist in that way, like don't let that doing it right mindset stop you from creating the thing that might just be what people love because it steps out of that box.
Mm-hmm.
Like people love when things step out of a box. And the fear that I think we all have as artists is like if I step out of the box, no one's gonna like it. And it's like, no, that's the point. Like we want different. We want to see something that's new. We want to feel something new. We want to see, like, the reason why things get created is because they're different. Like the reason why we like.
I have a question for you guys.
I was about to go with something else.
well, do you guys think he was scared at any point in the development of this, at any point in the process?
Of course.
Probably, absolutely.
Scared of what? Like,
Judgment or not
Yes,
telling it
absolutely,
right? Or
100%.
do you think what do you think pushed him? Was it just the deadline of the project, or like knowing that this could be something that people would watch? And
Yes, I think that it was both. I mean, there's definitely probably some sort of deadline, but I also think that he knew that he was first to the punch. There's literally nothing else like this.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else like this. This is a very singular, and that's what, like, okay, you kind of have to go into the whole purpose of a film school, but like the whole like tunnel of it all, the whole like point of it all is that people can dip into these film school showcases and be like, oh, I found a singular voice. And this is this is like the most singular example of that.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
I can't imagine being one of the other students in that and just being like, hey, I did my thing, and it's like, a kid wakes up in the morning and
God.
like,
Oh my
and then yours is gonna come after your little like 6-minute piece, and you just watch this and you're like, well, I think I might quit.
I feel like it
can all be great, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some really good ones. I've seen some really bad ones. And the bad ones, when it's film school, I'm like, you gotta take another couple years.
Would you consider this? I think if you put it in the context of a career, like you look at this and you go like, oh, this guy must be courageous or brave or whatever. Maybe really he recognized the trajectory of what he could accomplish as a director and said, well, this is just a step on that path.
For sure. Yeah, it's all a
That's
stepping
the point
stone.
of this. That used to be the main point of a short film. It's like a calling card. It's saying, this is who I am as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I can do.
It's literally
this
a
is
resume.
a great example of that. I thought it was also horrific. I thought that he's very much into shock. He's very much into the drama of it all. Like, he loves family stuff. Most of his stuff has been about family. Very like sexual too. Like, most of his stuff has been about family and sex. So I feel like this short film is just emblematic of that.
Well, I have another question for you guys. Do you think, and you would have an interesting perspective because of your status as a professor, do you think there's do you think that there is a setup? Do you think that this could get made today and released today and have the same impact, or are there new challenges?
No.
Are there new challenges like with today's market and saturation of it and the content out there that we have to keep in mind as we go about creating our own stories to share with the world?
Yeah, I have to disagree with you, Danezion, there. I truly believe.
Convince me.
I truly believe that it would go even crazier if it came out today. I think because of the fact that he's a white filmmaker, and it's like the whole like white filmmaker not being allowed to make a black movie, which I disagree with, but like That whole concept is a very 2020s on kind of situation.
Yeah.
Like pre-2020, like people talked about it, but it wasn't like an issue. It wasn't like a oh, you're a terrible person kind of thing. It was more like that's a little weird.
Yeah.
It was mostly us saying that too. It wasn't even white people. But now white people were saying it too. They're like, oh,
well, that's what I mean. That's why I say no, because it's not that it's not good and it wouldn't work, but it's now the culture surrounding that type of thing. A white man making a black film, especially with this type of subject matter, people were like,
no, but he's going for shock.
Right.
Like, so like,
so you're saying
it would have been
even
more shocking now.
Yeah,
and more brave and more.
It would have been like everybody would be talking about it. Everybody would be like,
okay,
yo, what? Because like, you didn't even know that like when I first watched it, I thought the same thing. Like when you watch it, you're like, oh, this is a black filmmaker. That's what
it's a magic trick.
That's what your buddy said out there. He was like, yeah, when I first watched it, because I was talking about it with him earlier. He was like, yeah, when I first watched it, he was like, oh, I thought some like gay black guy was like making some trauma, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's what.
And he was like, oh, no, it's this white Jewish guy. Oh, I truly believe that like it would have been even more shocking now.
Yeah, it would be more shocking now. Yes. People would go crazy.
Yes.
People would absolutely go nuts. And he might have people writing like low-key death threats.
Yes.
Like it would be insane.
Exactly.
But it would also, because of his person, it would make him a top-notch filmmaker from then on.
100%. Well,
he
would
get people knocking on his door offering every type of contract.
Yes.
And that's unfortunate.
But I get it. I feel it.
I think if it's 2011, we think about like social media and what it represents, and there was only one or two maybe social media sites at the time, and like so he had the ability to kind of have an insular and focused kind of take on it without all the outside noise.
Yeah.
So there's that challenge I think today because you risk pandering, and you risk kind of like softening your own ideas because of that. So I guess it's like, do you have to? I mean, what is the move? Like, how do you balance it, or do you just block it all out and say, this is my thing? And I think you already said it. Like, this is my thing.
You just block it out. You have to. Like, and that's the thing. It's like no matter I'm as much as I'm giving like a little hate. Like, I think he's incredible. I think the work that he did was incredible. Because he made a conscious effort to say, I'm just gonna go against the mold and do whatever I want. Like it was impactful. It was great.
I agree.
The subject was intense. The movie was great. The acting was mostly great.
I thought you did fine. I
don't think. I'm not saying he didn't. Like he did fine. I think there was just miscommunication between the dad and the son.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
What type of like horror are we doing?
Yeah.
Like what type of monster are?
That could have been some work. Hey, it was his first big like project.
Because I'm not hating on him. Like I'm not gonna say
no.
bad acting.
Sorry, man. Your stuff is valid. I appreciate it. I really do, because I agree with you. I think you shed some light on this that I didn't even consider. Like you're totally right. Like when he said this is love or something, that line, I agree. I also didn't feel that was true. Yeah. And I didn't notice that until you pointed it out. I just kind of just took it as face value. But I agree with you. Like if he, thinking about it now, when he says it, like it kind of was just like said, but it wasn't like felt.
It wasn't felt.
It was just like something that was just stated.
It was a line.
Well, I wonder if the direction could have been like, because it would have been nice to see him try to meet him, almost like walk towards him and get closer. Even the bars between them of like the banisters.
And, interesting.
Yeah.
You know,
creating a barrier, like invisible barrier between.
Yeah. Or like, why can't you want this? Why can't you want me? Would have been an interesting direction.
But you know what would have made it even more sincere?
Tell us, please.
Oh my God! I just thought of this. If he never left that chair.
he was always behind
if
the
he
wall.
never left that
Like
chair,
we never saw his
and
face.
we had his PO. We had from his
Dad's.
profile to the dad. So the son sitting in the chair.
Okay.
The camera is facing his profile and the dad, or even cutting in between. But
That's interesting.
the sincerity of him saying what he would have made me want to
Wait,
throw.
wait, hang on. You're saying if we weren't looking at the sun while he said that?
No. If
Through
we
the
are,
door still?
we're looking
With
at
him
the sun.
sitting?
Like
Seated?
I would actually have a medium shot of the sun and having him say all of this without leaving the chair.
I think
That would have been so menacing to me.
I think I like the idea of him not leaving the chair, but not because of the menacing aspect. It almost
Or
would make
sincerity, sorry.
it would almost make it feel like he's been sitting and thinking about last night too,
Yeah.
and like what he was driven to, and so he could be having this like this shroud over him,
Yeah.
attempting to pull his dad in.
Yeah. Like you get more bees with honey. Like, and it's like if you're in conflict with this love situation that's going on and you're trying to reel someone back in, you do it with love. You do it, you may those words, you can still say those words, but those words have to have real meaning. They have to be real. It has to come from a real place.
Yeah.
And I think the further you are away from the person, when people apologize, when they do something messed up, they do it with shame. They sit and they cuddle and they curl up in themselves. And it wasn't like he was saying that to his dad because he really believed that his dad was a problem.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to convince himself that his dad was a problem, knowing that he was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And curling up to inside yourself and saying this, trying to convince yourself in the moment is probably a stronger choice than going and just being like, you did this.
Yeah.
It's like,
I see your vision for that scene, and I do understand what you're saying. Like it would have been epic.
mm-hmm.
It would have gave another note to this character for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that would have. Weirdly, I'm glad it didn't happen. It
would have humanized him for sure.
Yeah, it would have humanized him. And I think with this type of thing, that's what you want. You want to see, like, because you're constantly, like, I'm asking why? And if that would have happened, I would be like, oh man, that's why. I kind of feel bad for him. I don't want to feel bad for him. Oh, this is gross. Yeah.
But if you humanize him, then does it make the ending less?
It makes it even better.
You think so?
It makes it even better because now you're connected to him in a way.
You want to be connected to the rapist.
No, absolutely not.
Let's be clear. So you want to be.
So clearly what you're saying is, but no, I'm just saying, like, as far as like, you always, when you write a villain. Oh yeah. When you write a villain, you want to feel.
Yeah,
for
I
the
agree
villain.
with you. I agree.
Like the reason why Heath Ledger did so well, for some reason, he made us care about him. And I don't even know how. Like, he just wanted to see it burn. There was no but he made you care about him. Like, I know it's like that's a mainstream like, but he made you care about him. That it was like, and the film showed you why the world was a messed up place.
Yes, and
he can turn people will turn to ugliness and darkness. And it was like you started to believe him.
I see. Yeah, that's interesting. I dig it.
Yeah.
Let's just bring Heath Ledger to play.
Oh my god, that's so.
Let's do the remake of this, and they're all white. And we bring Heath Ledger from the dead, and he plays the son.
Oh man.
And Jack Nicholson plays the dad.
Oh my god! Honestly, that is that is low key. That would actually be the. Wow!
I would love to watch that version.
I would too. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh my god! Could you imagine?
I can. Oh my god!
Just the idea of it. Anyway,
he's so
okay.
good.
So, what do we recommend this? How do we want to wrap this up?
I would recommend it. I would recommend it, but I would caution if you're not ready for your like to just feel traumatized, then don't watch it. Wait till you're in a happy place. Wait till you're in a good place. And then if you're just like if you're one of those people that just doesn't care, and also or if you're like, that's where you're just like, man, I just want to really see a good piece of work. No matter the subject matter, I think this is definitely something you can watch for sure.
Agreed. I think in a world of like content that is made to be not challenging, I think we need to be consuming challenging things, hard things. I think it helps us to learn and to grow. And so for sure, like this is something that everybody should watch, and particularly for like filmmakers, this could any fear after watching this, any fear you have about what you're trying to depict, you can do it, and it can do wonders for your career. I think for filmmakers in particular, like if you are having any kind of reservations about your own work and how it might be received and judgment and all that stuff, like watching this might encourage you to just go at it with all you got, because you can see what it's done for him in his career.
I recommend it as well. I think it's a beautifully made piece that tackles a very interesting subject in an interesting way with an interesting cast of characters, and I feel like we need more of it, honestly. Like, I know it sounds crazy to say, and I've only watched it twice now, and probably won't. Hopefully, don't have to watch it again. But like, this is art. Like, this is what art is supposed to be. It's supposed to be challenging. It's supposed to be interesting. It's supposed to put you in perspectives that you never thought you would find yourself in different points of view. And for that reason, I respect the hell out of this. I would love to see more Black artists go down this road, and it doesn't have to be specifically this, but like just down this road of like, let's tell stories of Black families and Black people and Black characters that aren't like the typical.
Oh my God.
That's it for me.
Yeah, no, on that, I have to say this because it drives me insane. Because I wanted to do a review on Boyz II Men, or not Boyz II Men. I wanted to do a review on Best Man, the TV show, because I was so happy to finally see a TV show about successful Black people who have normal problems. And it wasn't all racial. It wasn't all like it was just like these people had good jobs, made a lot of money, had issues with their kids, issues in their marriage. It was a normal TV show, and I want to see more films and TV shows about Black people like that. And we had it in the 90s. We had the Jeffersons. We had in Living Single, we had Half and Half. Like, where are those shows? Why are we back to like it being drug or gangs or prison or it is like I'm done. Like, I'm over it.
Yeah,
I'm
like
over
dramatic
it.
soap opera.
Yeah, like what? Let's go back to Black like comedies. Like The Neighborhood is a good one with Cedric Entertainer, but it's like, it still has a white counterpart. Right. It did. I don't know. I stopped watching after the first one.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the
Neighborhood. Sorry, was it The Neighborhood or Neighbors?
I don't know.
But it's like that still has a white counterpart, which like I'm not, I don't have any issues with that. But like the Jamie Foxx show, like that type of stuff, like those type of sitcoms or in TV shows that we used to have so many of, they don't exist as much. And I need that. I miss that. So my encouragement, if you're going to write a film, and I'm not saying you have to, but I'm hoping that we can get people that write normal stories about Black people, like The Wedding Singer, or something like When Larry Met Sally, or like that type of stuff. Like we were watching The Cable Guy. Like we watched The Cable Guy last night, and it's like that type of stuff. Like, where's the where's the black version of that? Like,
Yeah.
I want to see more of that because we don't have it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kevin Hart's doing his best, but he can't do. He can only do so many. That's it.
Sure.
You know, Eddie Murphy came back. Like, thank goodness, like, because he does. But like, it's like we need to get away from this black trauma, like slavery, civil rights. Like, we need to get away from it. We got to change the narrative a little bit. We've acknowledged it. We know we were there. It's not for us. It's for them. We need something for us. We need to be entertained. Anyway, that's my soapbox. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk.
See you next episode.
See y'all next episode. Peace.